Sanibonani emakhaya ngamakhaya.
Ngithi sizwe.
Sanibonani eNingizimu neAfrika. Namhlanje siphethe Connie Ferguson owaziwa kwi-generation. Kodwa hayi i-generation, the Legos. uConnie owaziwa kwi-generation yakudala owayebizwa ngoKarabo Moroka. Yona i-generation eyayinomashaba owayithandana noDineyo. He used to say tini tini. Ngithi sanibonani namhlanje kuseni 6:15 isikhathi.
Ngithi sizwe.
Kanti-ke namhlanje umhla ka-29 April inyanga esikuyo 2024. Sesiyangena-ke sesikuwe-ke Connie Ferguson. Connie, cishe ngakubiza ngoKarabo. Connie-ke bese sibingelelene-ke off air. So-ke Nkosi yami, today we have a lot esifuna ukusikhuluma nawe about the business ye-film industry ebeninayo ne-husband yakho, about nje wena as uConnie, about passing of your husband, about impilo as i-husband yakho ingasekho-ke emhlabeni. We have a lot. I think today we're going to have the longest interview ever. Connie, our first question, sifuna ukubuza nje impilo ukuthi-ke injani Nkosi yami endlini as i-husband yakho ingasekho emhlabeni, injani impilo kakhulu kubantwana endlini. How is life, Connie?
Now since Joe passed, it's been quite a journey. We're still going through it. We're still taking one day at a time, putting one foot in front of the other. But the girls have been strong. I think as a family, we've really just been there for each other. We've cried together. We've comforted the weak when they are weak and been strong for them, and the other way around. But God has been good. I think just with prayer and having friends and family pray for us as well, we have managed to stay strong in spite of it all.
Connie, everyone knows ukuthi ufa ku-natural. The thing is, uma kufe umuntu endlini kushintsha everything, because kunomuntu osexebukile emzimbeni yethu noma enyameni yethu ebesiphila naye ongasekho. So ungathini ngalokho, Connie?
The thing is, we know that death is natural, right? Yeah. It's our way. We all going there. We just never know when. And you know, when you're a young couple, you're not expecting it. I mean, it's the last thing on your mind. I mean, you're dreaming together, you're planning together, you're building together, and that's literally like the last thing on your mind. That when it happens, it completely disorganizes you, like completely. You don't know you don't know what to feel even. I mean, besides the pain, you literally don't know what to think. You can't see beyond that moment. And I think it took me a while being in that space of who am I without Joe? Because, you know, he and I were so close. Like literally joined at the hip. And I mean, even today, just trying to live physically without him is a big adjustment. I'm adjusting daily. I mean, every day there's something that I wish I could do with him, and he's not there. And then I have to reorganize myself, adjust myself, and go, you know what, he's not here. I know he's here in spirit. I can do this. I have to keep, you know, pep talking myself. I can do this. I can do this. And yeah, a year and almost 2 years later, I'm here.
Connie, ukudlula kuyasipend yakho emhlabeni, it was COVID related, you know, COVID, it was there at the time and everybody were in a problem and there's a lot of people abalahlekelwa imndeni yabo. So ekuguleni kwakhe uSean so nje kwabanjani endlini? Sasinjani nje isimo endlini egula and you know ukuthi nayine COVID ngala ihlasela.
We both got sick at the same time. I was also very sick. And, you know, he was strong for me, and, you know, seeing how he was strong for me, I obviously thought my husband was strong, you know. And then I think I was like a week in, he started getting, like his symptoms just started getting worse. I think he struggled more with his breathing than anything else. And we did little things together. We would take walks. I think I'd walk a bit further than what he could. But we tried to do everything right according to what we knew. And I don't know what happened with Sean. I don't know, because he was a healthy guy.
Yo, Connie, this was really bad. Mhlambe Connie inini la khona enaqala khona ukubona ukuthi no man uSean he keeps on getting weak, inini la na khona kudokotela noma na khona esibhedlele la ufika watholakala khona ukuthi ubambekile ke manje Sean nasi sifo siphezulu kwakhe.
I think was diagnosed on the 26th of June. On the 3rd of July, he was admitted into hospital because I think he was really struggling with his oxygen levels. And that first week was very hard for him, especially because he was such an independent person.
As Connie, COVID-19 ibihlasela at the time, mhlawumbe ngenayi hope ukuthi mhlawumbe Sean he's gonna make it, mhlawumbe Sean uzoba right. Bekwenzakalani ngehope ngaleso sikhathi uSean ebambekile.
But you know, we both had so much faith that he was going to come out of this. You know, it was COVID-19. We know a lot of people didn't make it, but he was strong, he was healthy, he was young. We really thought he would beat this thing, and we spoke about it all the time, that baby, you're gonna beat this thing, you know. And he kept saying to me, baby, we're gonna beat this, and it was a we thing, you know. We're gonna beat this.
Mhlawumbe Connie, if you can try to remember eguleni kwakhe uSean wangena esibhedlele kwaba ukuthi ugula kwaze wafika egcineni noma ungena kwakhe esibhedlele kukhona la owabangcono khona wa discharge khona wabuyela ekhaya kwenzakalani?
He was discharged. So he kind of got better. So he had COVID pneumonia. So when his symptoms improved, they discharged him the following week, Friday, after the 3rd. And that night, I mean, I think I'm
oh my God, sorry Connie, be strong Connie.
I think I'm still traumatized from that night. After he was discharged from hospital, because he was strong, so and he didn't like the hospital show. So to be honest, I think he also pushed he felt strong enough to go home. I don't know exactly how he felt, but you know, he put on the front that he was strong enough to come home. That was the longest night of my life, because we were struggling with, so I literally had to monitor his oxygen, because he was still on high flow oxygen even at home. So I couldn't treat him with the oxygen concentrate thing. So I needed the cylinders, because he was on high flow. That night he just got progressively worse. Like literally I was looking at my husband fading away in front of me.
Kubuhlungu ukufa ayikho into ebuhlungu njengokufa. Can you imagine ushiya umfazi omuhle kanjena and then nawe kumele ufe. Connie, you are so beautiful, I don't wanna lie, but angikho lapho khona ngifisa ukubuza ukuthi nihleli noSean nje endlini niyabona ukuthi ulokhu akekho right nangendlela aphefumula ngayo, uma imove yangala you have to move icylinder ayengala ngoba akuphefumuleki, nenze njani nithini nikhuluma nithini nodokotela?
Kept calling the doctors that night to say, you know what, I'm not comfortable, I don't think this person is okay, I don't think he should have been discharged. And only the next morning did they come through and readmitted him immediately. But I think that might set him back 100 steps really, because after that it was literally all downhill from there. It was literally all downhill from there.
Mhlawumbe Connie, if you still remember, uSean kuze kufika isikhathi ukuthi uyadlula emhlabeni, waba sesibhedlele for how long? Kwaba isikhathi kangakanani elele esibhedlele noma ethola treatment from the hospital?
And then he was in hospital for a month, of which he had been intubated for 2 weeks. Yeah, so 2 weeks after being intubated, that's when we lost him. I still can't stand the sound of hospital machines because I literally lived there. I mean, I used to go. Remember, I was also still recovering, so I wasn't strong. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't eating. I literally lived at the hospital. So it wasn't sudden. I literally saw him, although we were hopeful the whole way and praying the whole way, and because he was a fighter, when doctors thought, okay, today you can't go, just sit with him, this might be his last day, might be his last. So we had so many of those might be his last day moments, and he always made it through to the next day and made it through to the next day, and that gave us hope. And because I believe so much in prayer, we believed that, whatever is happening here, I don't know, God, yes, is trying to tell us something. This is probably going to be Show's biggest testimony ever, that I was holding on so much to that we're going through this. We have to go through this because it's a test and there's a testimony to be told from this experience. But my expectation was that it was going to be his testimony and not me talking about the loss and how I'm dealing with it and coping with it and how the family is and how I am. This wasn't supposed to be the story.
Connie, ukuzila akuyona into elula neze. Grieving it's a very painful thing, so and umuntu endlini uyakhumbuleka. So i-process nje everything injani nje Connie?
Yeah. I think it's a process. It's continuous. One day you feel like you've got this, the next day you crumble. It's like, what the hell, So I think grieving is ongoing. You just literally learn to live with the pain and not let it decapitate you, and not let it stop you from moving, because life has to go on.
Yes, Connie, my sister, as you were saying, ukuthi impilo iyaqhubeka, impilo kumele iqhubeka. There's a lot of things okusamele ukuthi uqhubeke uzenze. Ungasho ukuthi uSean akasekho, so izinto obuzenza noSean noma ikhampani kumele ime. There's a lot of things ezisakhlalele ukuthi uzenze. Uthini ngalokho impilo izoqhubeka kanjani khona?
I still have ambitions. I still have a company I need to run. I still want to be able to employ the number of people that we were able to employ with Show and even more. I still want to keep that legacy going. But there's a lot still to be done. It's just, for me, I think, unfortunate that I find myself in a position where I feel like I have to do it alone. Although I have a lot of support around me, it still feels alone, without show. But I know he's my biggest angel, and I feel him a lot. I feel him a lot. I know he'll always be with me, and for me, that's very comforting. Yes, I want him here physically, because I'm used to us being like this. But he's not here, so I have to do with what I have, and just know that God is God and God is good, and He would never let me suffer in vain. There has to be, I may not know the answer to that now or tomorrow or the day after, but there has to be a reason for all of this.
Mhlawumbe ukubuza nje kafishane Connie, ihusband yakho ngabe yazalelwa phi, and wena nehusband yakho nahlangana phi, and bekuyinhloboni umsebenzi ekade ihusband yakho iwenza, ngoba simbona nje naye esejoina kwi film entertainment industry ekade singamazi, simaze kwi film entertainment industry emveni ukuthi esehlangane nawe, and wena uhlangane naye vele sesivele sikwazi from kwi-TV, more special from which generation. So that's what we want to know about your husband.
So Shaw was born in Botswana. We met in Joburg. He was in IT, sales and management. So when we got married, he moved to Johannesburg, still continued with IT. But on the side, he was very interested in entertainment. So he started managing me as a side job. And I think just observing and seeing how passionate he was about the industry, and actually how much he knew about the industry, I thought, you know what? I have a partner here. I have someone that can build with me. So he slowly also went into acting. I had a couple of roles in different productions. And when I left Generations after I turned 40, I think for me, I wanted to take a bit of a sabbatical while we were starting Ferguson Films together. But then The Wild came about, and that was the first show that we both starred in. We were 2 years in The Wild, and then it went off air. And I think that's when, you know, because we learned so much on that production, and just a different way of shooting soap and telenovelas. And I remember the talks that we used to have and the excitement that we would have when we were talking about what we wanted to do with Ferguson Films. And after The Wild, I think we saw the opportunity to really focus all our energies into our production company.
Balaleli be Azokh FM Radio, as I said earlier on, that today we're going to have a longest interview ever with Connie Ferguson, because there's a lot of things that we want to dig out from Connie. Connie, tell us, how did you come about working with Mzansi Magic?
And it coincided with the channel Mzansi Magic being launched, and they were looking for new producers, new productions. And we pitched our first drama series to Mzansi Magic Rockville. And Rockville was Mzansi's first drama series and Ferguson Films' first production ever. And that's how we started. I mean, as a pair, we were great as husband and wife, but we were great as business partners as well. And he was my biggest friend, you know, and that gave me so much confidence to have not only a partner that was brilliant on his own, but that really believed in my capabilities and my brand.
Connie, I know it is impossible, but I think I have to ask you this question so that I'll get whatever I want to get from you. If Ngatwa Connie, you get another chance, or you get a last chance to see Ushon, and then there's something that you have to tell him, or there's something you want to talk to him about, Ushon, or to your late husband.
So here's the thing about my husband and I think we were so transparent with our feelings, whether we were feeling good at the time or bad at the time. We always talked honestly to each other.
Connie, at the hospital, there's always that last moment. Now I remember, sihambe nomama siye hospital siyobona udade wami engekho right. May his soul rest in peace. I remember at the last moment whereby udade ecifela khona uma wami iso. That picture ayikhona ukuremoveka emqondweni yami ukuthi oh, the last moment udade wami wacifela umama iso. So that's what I want to know from you ukuthi what was the last moment, the time usesibhedlele embhedeni ayelele kuona uSean. What was the last moment?
Even when he was on his hospital bed, I remember the last time I saw him before they intubated him, that day, he had the CPAP. I don't know if you know what a CPAP mask is. It's the most horrific mask. It looks painful as hell. And just breathing through that thing seems like torture. And he had that thing, that CPAP mask, and I could tell he was struggling, I was sitting at his at the end of his hospital bed, and I was just massaging his feet.
Connie, if ungazama ukukhumbula ngesikhathi uSean elele esibhedlele, what was the last physical moment, even if umuntu engakhulumi kuba naleyo eye contact ukhona ukureader emehlweni akhe ukuthi uthini, wes umuntu makuumuntu wakho uyamazi. What was the last physical moment?
And he was just looking at me, and he couldn't speak, obviously, because of that mask. And in that moment, it just came to me to say to him, "You're my soulmate." And because of that mask, it was so tight, he couldn't smile physically with his mouth, but he smiled with his eyes. And he just said, "You're my soulmate too." That was our last physical communication. What would I say to him now? That I wasn't ready for him to go. That I still don't understand why he had to go.
Connie, sike sezwa ukuthi ke uSean, he was a praying man. uSean ubemazi uNkulunkulu kakhulu. uSean ubethandaza kakhulu. And sike sezwa futhi ukuthi uSean ungomunye wabantu abakufundisa ukuthandaza njengoba nawe usumuntu wesifazane othandazayo noma okhulekayo. Ungathini kuSean ofundise ukuthandaza njengoba kade ngilokhu ngikuza ku-interview ukuthi benikholelwa emthandazweni, benilokhu nithandaza nabangani benithandazisa, nama-friends enithandazisa, nomndeni unithandazisa, nawe nomndeni beningakhohlwa ukuthandaza. Ungambonga uthini uSean ngokufaka emthandazweni?
Thank you for teaching me to pray, because that is what has seen me through. So if you didn't have the foresight to get me into that space of believing, of trusting the Lord, honestly, I don't think I'd be here. I don't think I'd be here.
Connie, sesigcine isikhathi eside, but lastly, I think I have a question like, you know what, abantu bahlezi bekhuluma and people, they won't stop talking, even if ubenzela izinto ezinhle kanganani abantu bayakhuluma. People are saying, maybe you know, maybe you don't know, people are saying outside, Connie, why she had a production company, and then at the end of the day aphinde naye futhi act wesa be starring kuma soapies akhe, kuma films akhe, whatever. Why you Connie? Why this? Why that? Connie? What? Connie?
All the people that go, when I have a production, they go, but why is she acting in it? I need to work. This is why I create work for other people and for myself.
Aykezwakala khona ukuthi ke njengoba uvule production company uyivulele ukuthi kuvuleka amathuba for other people ukuthi bathole imisebenzi, including yourself. ukuthi uthole umsebenzi ngoba i-acting iwumsebenzi wakho. Ngiyathemba ke ukuthi nizwile ke balalele emakhaya ukuthi ukhona njengoba evula i-production company uvulele abantu ukuthi bathole amathuba omsebenzi naye as well njengomuntu othanda i-acting ayi-acte. Eke njengoba ke ngabingelela eqaleni ke ngathi emakhaya ngamakhaya namanje ngisasho njalo futhi ngithi emakhaya ngamakhaya salani kahle ngapheli kuyahlola olukamageba ke lusho njalo. Sibonge kakhulu ke khona ukuthi ube nathi namhlanje. I hope ke abantu abaningi batholile ke ngawe, bathola ngomndeni wakho, bathola nge-late husband yakho. Ake siphinde ke sibonane ke nangosuku olulandelayo. Ningakhohlwa ke bantu ba South Africa to give us a support yokuthi ni like i-page lethu on Facebook, Azokh FM Radio on Facebook. Keep liking our Facebook page, keep following us on Facebook. Ningakhohlwa ke sikhona na ku-YouTube as well. Uma ungena ku-YouTube just search Azokh FM Radio, ila uzosithola khona. Kanti na ku-TikTok siyatholakala futhi ungasichecka ke khona ngendlela ehlukile ubhale u-Azokh TV channel, uzosithola ke as Azokh FM Radio kwi-Azokh TV channel. Just type Azokh TV channel ku-TikTok, ila uzosithola khona. Sithi ke goodbye today, tomorrow, next month, next year. The car can be yours. Dial the number on the screen. Believe me, the car you want will be delivered to your home today. Do you want a new car? Do you want to own a new car? It is simple and easy to find out whether you qualify to own. Our number is on screen. Dial the number. Call us. We will deliver your car on your doorsteps.